All right, everyone, we're joined by head coach Mick Cronin. Once again, if you have any questions for coach, please hit the raise hand button. Let's get started with Ben.
Hey, Meg.
What's up, Ben?
Hey, what would you say you're kind of emphasizing defensively in practice right now?
A lot of things, buddy. A lot of things. We just got to improve in a lot of areas. You know, the one thing we talk with our guys about is, I had a joke today. What was my joke? Jake Kyman's not going to become Trevor Ariza just because I'm practicing harder. But Jake Kyman takes a lot of charges. He's done a great job for that, for us with taking charges this year. So what we need, Dave, Jake, Johnny, they're great shooters, right? Are we first in the Pac-12 in 3-point percentage?
I believe so, yeah.
So what we give up in athleticism on the defensive end, which I had a lot of my career, obviously, in my previous coaching positions, we gain with shooting. But so Jake's not going to become Trevor Ariza overnight, but we can all play smarter. Johnny's not going to become Bruce Bowen overnight, but Johnny can play smarter defensively. So the things that we have got to do a better job of are the controllables, right? So, again, Dave Singleton is not going to become Avery Bradley overnight defensively. But again, Dave can play with, you can make up for a lack of explosiveness and recovery speed, and that we have to play smarter defensively because we can't erase mistakes the way some teams can erase mistakes, Ben. So, and that's we're second last in the league in block shots, so we got to take. Jalen Hill's got to block shots for us. Chris is gone to injury, so Cody's got to be a better charge taker. We've all got to try to do what Jake Kyman's doing in Tiger and drawing charges. But we've guys got to play smarter. We've got to do a better job with game plan, scouting report, defense, because we can control that. Because our margin for error is not great on defense because we're just not a super athletic team. And, that's not going to change. But we can change how smart we play, and we can decide, look, here's what we're going to try to take away from a team, and get the job done, whatever that job may be. And we did not do that against Washington. We did it against Washington State. We didn't get the job done against Washington.
One follow-up, if I could. Are you a little bit surprised these guys aren't a little bit better defensively, considering that you got pretty much everybody back from last year? I know Chris isn't with you right now, but they kind of know what your style you like, right? And everybody's pretty much back. So are you surprised it's kind of taken this long?
No, because we had the same deficiencies last year, to be honest with you. We didn't have an off season. So, it does not. I'm not surprised about it. We were a limited team athletically last year.
Tracy, go ahead.
Hey, Coach.
What's up, Trace?
How are you dealing with the fact that you're 8th overall in offensive efficiency and you're 91st? I mean, this must be completely have you ever had a team like this that's that disproportionate?
Hey, you talking about? Oh yeah, I've had it this. I've been second on defense. I've had
yeah, but I mean, so much offensively and then 91st defensively.
No.
Okay. You okay?
Oh yeah. Hey, you know what, man? It's fun when the ball goes in. Darren and I obviously have been together for a long time, and we laugh about it. it's like I told him, we didn't play great. But I thought, Washington really made, you got to be mature and go watch the film and realize, Hamir Wright and Quade Green played unbelievable. It's not what the records don't matter on game day, right? All that matters is the matchup and who plays well on that day. And they played great. It wasn't like we didn't, it wasn't like they didn't hit some really hard guarded shots. Coach Hop did a good job. But anyway, to finish my story, it's like I told Darren, could you imagine us in conference play now, not against an outman team in a bye game, in conference play in mid-January, scoring 81 and 91 back-to-back, back in our days. It's Eddie, we were laughing about it, especially in the Big East. Gosh, if you were hoping you could get to 65 in 2011. I think scoring's up everywhere too, Tracy. I watch a lot of games. Obviously, it's all I do during the season is watch film, watch other games. I have to get away from it after the season, but I'm immersed in that. Scoring's really up everywhere, all over the country. So I think today's coaches adjusting to playing more shooters. Guys are better with the ball. I'm sure Baron Davis and Earl Watson and some of those guys wish they were allowed to carry the ball the way today's guy can carry it. Good luck guarding, Tyus Edney back then if you could carry the ball. It's just harder to play defense as well. But that said, Trace, no, we give up what we give up for athletically. We're making up for in shooting. But we got to continue, like I said, we got to play, there's things that we can do a better job of. And we've got to play smarter and putting your hands up to not let people throw the ball directly over your head to the open man. That's doable, right? Blocking shots and being a lockdown guy that can rotate all around, like I mentioned, Trevor Reeves, who's had an unbelievable pro career. That's hard to do unless you have his length and athleticism. But we can know, hey, we can't let Eric Stevenson shoot. We got to chase him off screens. We didn't do that. So we just don't have a great margin for error. We've got, so we've got to do a better job as coaches, making sure our guys understand that and how, we got to overcome it with strategy and intelligence.
So you said you're talking strategy, getting them smarter. How doable is it to get them to play with more energy more consistently? Because it seems to lag at times.
Yeah, I would disagree. I would tell you, I get coaches, and that's just, I have people that do this for a living. In fact, Jay Wright, who was stuck in his house for a month, texted me about how he saw, we were on a roll. So he was watching our games and, how he enjoyed watching our guys play. So I'll trust his opinion. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame,
Over me, you mean?
What happens, I think, because look, I root for my friends in coaching. So I know how it is, you're just watching us. And nobody's going to be a dominant team. And you're not going to play 40 perfect minutes. So there's going to be times where guys are tired, transition, whatever. And, you're not going to be perfect with 40 minutes of unbelievable defense of energy, right? But we don't have guys. Our guys play to win now. Even in the San Diego State game, man, they made a lot of shots they haven't made since then, and it just happens sometimes. I think sometimes, like I said, even myself, right? I come to press conferences and I look like I need counseling sessions. Then you have to go home and be mature and watch the film and realize, man, the other team made a lot of hard shots and be fair about it. You're not just going to be able to lock people down at all costs. So, it's just with our team, I do think that we can play smarter. I do think that. I don't ever think we don't have guys dogging it on this team. We do have guys that could do a better job, as far as adhering to what we want them to do, being more alert and aware, it's hard, you know, like there's been a lot of guys make it in basketball that weren't great athletes defensively, but they had vision and they were alert and aware so they could make up for their lack of athleticism, like a guy like Don McClain, and that way he could survive and make money playing the game.
Sam, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. So Stanford coming up on Saturday. They have Oscar Da Silva is leading the Pac-12 in scoring, but they also have Dejon Davis, Zaire Williams. How do you kind of prepare for a team that has that kind of top-level scoring? And is there a team you've played so far this year that kind of has a similar balance, similar style of scorers like that?
You know what, Sam? Because of the way the schedule falls, Stanford hasn't played anybody like right before we've played them. Other than Washington State. So I've only seen them play really against Washington State. I think I watched them play early a little bit against North Carolina, and I thought the whistle got them beat, to be honest with you. I thought the officiating was really lopsided and cost Stanford that game late in the game. So I'm impressed with them. I did, in prepping for Washington State, I saw them, but I could care less about Stanford. I'm worried about Cal, buddy. I apologize. I know Silva's having an unbelievable year. I know Zaire is a great kid. I recruited him and really enjoyed talking with him a lot. You know, to my mind, he's going to go in the top 5 in the draft. They do, you know, they've had a good year. I know they've had some injuries. The kid Willis is out. Davis had been out. But other than that, I would say is Cal's 5-2 at home. That's their record to me. Like the rest of they're playing at home, so everything else that they've done doesn't matter. They're 5-2 at home. So we play a team that's 5-2 that we've already beaten, I should say, and they're going to be ready to play because their coach has got film to show them. They're going to have Coach Fox is going to have his players' attention. Right, we're undefeated in the league and we beat them, so they will be ready to play Thursday, and we better be ready to play. So that's where all my focus is.
Do you think anything's changed with them other than the extra game film they have of you guys, or is
Cal?
Yeah.
Oh,
Cal.
yeah. I think Foreman is Kelly's shooting 70%. That's got to be top 5 or 10 in the nation. I think with Bradley being out, it's helped their other players develop offensively. Most notably Foreman. He's great in the pick and roll. He can really shoot the ball. And he can find the open man. You know, they've had a lot of struggles with injuries. It's been a tough year for Coach Fox. They've had a few COVID battles. Bradley's been out. Antisevich has been out. I don't know if Bradley's playing or not. But Foreman has really come on for Cal. I mean, he's really, really playing well. It's at a high level. There's another point guard. You know, Tiger just had and Tiger's one of the best guards in our league, but you got Bonton played great against us. Quade Green played great. And this kid Foreman's really playing well for them. At a much higher level than the first time we played.
Mike, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, you talked about it earlier with Jake Kyman, you know, having some hustle plays, but I also wanted to ask you about, like, you know, Jalen Clark, you know, having some really good perimeter defense, David Singleton being pretty solid on defense. Do you think because of in order to get to that, to where you want to be defensively, are you going to have to play those guys more minutes?
Which you named 3.
Jake Kyman, Jalen Clark, David Singleton. I mean, those are just examples, but those are 3 that stood out to me in the last week.
Yeah, I would say, you know, David and Jake are in there because they can really shoot and are effective offensive players. Jake's getting better with his charge taking. You know, Dave did not have a great defensive game, but, you know, Dave will run through a wall for you. Jalen Clark's the guy. If you want to talk about somebody, if your question is like, who's going to help us defensively? Is that your question? Who should get more minutes to help us defensively? There's only one answer to that one. That's Jalen Clark. You know, I mean, he's light years ahead of, because he's just his explosiveness, his intuitiveness. I mean, he's I mean, he's on a different, like those guys right now in their career are way better on offense, but he's way better on defense.
Can you see Clark getting more minutes as you get closer to the in the next couple weeks?
There's games they played a lot at Arizona. With Washington, you got to remember they're playing zone. So, you're trying to have some shooting on the floor against their zone. So, it becomes a strategic thing, trying to get him in there. And I've said it before, trying to get him in there with Jaime some.
Okay, let's finish up with Ben.
Kind of following up on that, would you ever start a guy like that just as kind of a defensive tone setter? And maybe, he doesn't have to play heavy minutes, but just kind of sets the tone.
Well, you want him to start over Jules or Jaime Jaquez?
There's no answer there.
Did you answer your own question?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, look, there's a reason I want Jalen Clark as a Bruin. I believe in the things he brings to the table. So it's just trying to get him along, get him along and get him comfortable. Like I said, I think that Jaime's a lot better player when he doesn't play so much. I think he's a better offensive player. I was upset myself on film evaluation. I should have played Jalen Clark. I didn't get him into the game around the 13-minute mark of the second half for Jaime, and I thought it hurt us. I thought when we got a lead, Washington came back, and I thought Jaime's fatigue had a lot to do with it. So, that's a way to get Jalen into the game as well. And also if Jules gets in foul trouble. Because, look, we got, obviously Cody's can really score down low. But as far as like our athleticism, of physical athleticism, I mean, it's pretty much Jalen Clark, Jaime, and Jules. So if you can have two of those guys in the game, it'll help your defense.
Okay, we'll wrap it up there. Thanks for your time, Coach.
All right, guys, we'll see you soon. Thanks.